So now we will see that how we can make few changes in our application. So this application is basically having this public folder where we can store our images, JavaScripts, and style sheets. And we have different routes and we have different views. But since we are only interested in creating a REST API, which we can consume anywhere, so we won't be needing these files. But just for the sake of like showing you what you can do here. So in this view, if I go there in this index.ejs, if I write something here and I just save it and I refresh this page, so I will be having this here. Okay, so before creating our mock REST API for testing purposes, I will be needing a tool called Postman where I can test the API endpoints. So I will download this from here. And I will just sign up with Google. And what I can do here is I should just download here desktop application. Because I don't need the web application, sometimes you just have to go for the desktop application. So it's going to install here. Just wait for a while. Alright, it's installed here. I will just sign up with Google. Continue sign in. Okay, alright. So we have a launchpad here and we will just close this here. So it's pretty simple. This Postman we can use to test whatever APIs we will be creating here. Alright, so let's get back to our project. Here, if you can see in the route section, they have created a dummy API for us, right? With the name of the users. So when a GET request will come here, it's going to send with a respond something like respond with a resource, and I can test this here by All right, so if I follow this URL localhost 3000 followed by users, okay, in this users at the root I will be getting this response. So I can check this here. I can create a new request here and it will be get request, and I will just say localhost 3000 with something like users. If I press enter, you can see I have got a respond with a resource. See, if I change this here, something like hello from YouTube, so this response will be changed, but it is not changed. What can be the issue? Basically, whenever we make changes in the API endpoint, we have to restart our server. Okay, so in order to save in order to save all of this process and all of whatever what we are doing here, and we just want that our server restart itself whenever we make any changes, so we will be needing a node package by the Nodemon, and the Nodemon will monitor any changes we are going to do in our project. So let's just install it here quickly. Nodemon. So Nodemon is installed in our project. We have to verify this here. It is installed here. Then we will just change this part here, and we will just say Nodemon, right? And we will just save this, and then if I write npm start, our project will be started with Nodemon. Okay, and if I send the request here, it will be like hello from YouTube. Okay, but if I make any changes here, how are you guys? Save this. See, our project has been restarted automatically. And if I send this request again, it will be something like how are you guys? So I won't have to restart my server again and again. So if you look closely, if we are consuming this users route here, and this basically states that 200 means that the request to this get request is successful. Okay, so I just want to change this a little bit. I just want that it sends some sort of object, right? So what I can do here is I will change this whole structure a little bit, and I will go like this with try and cage. You guys should follow exactly whatever I'm doing, because this is a good practice to write everything in try and catch block. Okay, so what I will do here is I will just create my user, a dummy user something, and I will just say that username is Jamal, email is xyz@gmail.com, and age is something like 30. Okay, and now what I can do here is I can put up a status with 200. Okay, and then I can send this object to the client. And if any sort of error happens, I can just go like this, 500, and send message, an error occurred. And for logging purposes, if you just want to send the error, you can send the error like this. Okay, so now if I refresh the get request here, I will be getting the object here, right? So we have successfully created our first mock get request, right? We can send multiple users, we can only send one user, but right now this was just for testing purposes. Okay, so I can go like this. I can send a list of users, and it will be something like an array. Okay, it will be like users. Okay, and I can make another user, something like this, and I can just say Hussein, and if I refresh this route here, you can see we have two users here. The first one is Jamal and the second one is Hussein. Okay, so we have created our first endpoint where we are getting all the users. But how about if we are only interested in getting one user, right? Like how about if I just pass on something like this and I just get this first user. Okay, so for this I will be needing an ID here with each username, and these IDs will be stored in the database, which I will show you later on, but just for testing purposes I will write this here. Okay, so if I refresh this here, okay, there's some error. Let's just see what happens. Not found. Okay, all right. So if I see the response here, it goes like this, that I have ID1 and ID2 for like Jamal and Hussein, and I want that if I pass something like this, so I should only get this first object, right? So what I can do here is I will create a new route, or in fact I will just save time and I will copy this route here and I will just paste this here. Okay, and I will mention the process here, that in users, if after slash, if you're passing something like an ID, okay, so you should be getting that specific user. Okay, here I will just go like this, that ID. Okay, and what I can do here is I can remove this part, and for time being I'm only interested in displaying whatever ID I'm going to send. So send, and this will be the ID which will be coming in the URL. Okay, so if I refresh this here, I have got an error because I should be getting this ID with request.body.id. Okay, if I send this again, I am having nothing. The reason for this is that maybe I am missing something here. Request.body. Let me just check. Well, I think this body is used for like when you are doing a post request. Yeah, you have to use the params here, the params property, and it will get this ID here. And let me just check this, and we have one over here. And if I pass 2 and send this here, we will be having 2 over here. So now I will just do something like here, and I will just say if id equals to 1, then response or status, and send me this object. This is just for testing purposes, okay, because this data will be coming from the database, but since I'm just trying to teach you guys what we will be getting, and you can have a better idea. And this will go like this. And I will be saying status 200 and send something like this, okay? Else response.status 200% or not 200 status, because if this these users are not requested, like apart from 1 and 2, the other users don't exist in the database. So what will happen is it will send you a 404 request like not found, and we will just say like a message, sorry, no user found for ID, and I will just go that ID, okay, whichever is coming here. So I think it's pretty much completed. What I will do here is if I pass on 1 here, I will just send. So see, we are only getting the first user, and if I go on 2, so it will just say that we have got the second user. And if I go on 3, so it will go on like this, message, sorry, no user found for ID. But I think the best part would be something like, okay, that's fine. Right now we can just pass on a message for the user. Okay, so we have created one route with something like it is going to get us all the users, and we have got another route which can only get us one user. Okay, now we will create another route which will basically save the user to the database. But since we don't have any user here, so we will just like print out whatever we will be sending here. Okay, so just I will just copy and paste this here just to save the time. I'm just going to and I will just say post, and I will say here, and here I just want to like get the body of the request. Okay, So whatever is in the body, I will just store it here in my body, and then in response I can just send my body back. So here I just want to see whatever I'm getting, okay, and it will be just sent back to me. So if I change this from get to post request, so all I have to do is I have to send this raw body here, and it's basically JSON, which I have to send to the server. And what I can do here is I can send something like the ID and username. Can go something like username, and username can be something like this. And also what I can do here is I can send email, and lastly the age. Okay, so if I send this to this user's route with a post request, so I assume that I should get back this body back. Okay, whatever I'm sending, I just assume that I get it back. So send this. See, it means our post request is successful, right? Later on in the next video, when we will be configuring MongoDB, uh, whatever we will be sending from here, it is going to be stored in the database. So right now it's just the dummy data which we are displaying back to the user. So we have get request with a single user, the post request. Now we will move toward how we can have update request. So update request is also simple. Based on the user ID, we can like update a certain user. So I will just create I'll just copy and paste this here, and I will go on like something like this post, and we will be sending the ID which we are going to update. So the first thing which I'm interested in, request.params.id and the body. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will be just sending back the body, okay, considering that it is being updated, right, with a message something like message your user is updated, right? I can do something like this here too. All right, now I just have to change from post to put. All of these things will be same, and all I have to do is pass an ID or something like this, and view in console what happens. We can't send report request. I think I have to restart the server again. Alright, sorry, I just made an error here, due to which okay, all I have to do here is write something like this message. See, now the put request is perfect. I have my body here and I have my message here. Right, now the last request we can make up here is the delete request. So I will just copy this here and I will just paste and I will just say delete. Okay, this is same, and I will just pass on delete, and we don't need the body, we just have to send the message to the user that your certain user is deleted. Okay, it's stored here, and I can go on and say something like this, and it will say your user is deleted. For the sake of like notification which user I deleted, so I will just pass on the ID here, and it will show me that the fourth user is deleted or the second user is deleted. So now when we will be writing the database code, we will be preparing all the logic here, and if that logic is successful, we will be sending response to the user here, and same goes on here. If we are updating the user, or we are posting a new user to the database, or we are getting a single user, or we are getting all the users. So I hope you have got the basic idea of structuring these routes properly. You have to properly follow the conventions. For getting the users, you have to use this get request. For posting a user, you have to add the post. When you are going to update the user, you have to use the put request. And when you are going to delete a user, you have to go like this, delete. Okay, I hope you have understood everything which I mentioned in this video. If you have any question, please leave in the comment section and I will try to answer you there. Thank you.